We have successfully created the home page and navigated to it from the main page, which in this case is our login page. We have also taken a look at how the navigation page adds this back button by default, which is especially important in the case of iOS. But right now, our home page only displays a label. And what we really need instead of our home page is a tabbed layout, a tabbed page that has, in this case, 3 tabs that will allow navigation from a history page, a map history page, and a profile page in the case of our application. So during this lecture, we're going to take a look at how to create this entire setup. For this, we're going to need to change our home page a little bit, and we're going to have to create one different page for each of the tabs that we're going to be needing inside of our layout. So let's navigate to Visual Studio. And here in Visual Studio, we're going to have to create 3 new pages the same way that we created the home page. So navigate to your Solution Explorer and right-click on the portable project that you have. Select Add and select New Item. Select Content Page. Remember to select the content page that creates a SAML file instead of the one that creates only a C# file. And name your page. The first page that I'm going to create is going to be called History, and I'm going to click on Add. Here in the History page, the only thing that we're going to do right now is change the text that is being displayed in the label so we can identify that this is the History page. So I'm going to change Welcome to Xamarin Forms to be Welcome to the History page. I'm going to save the changes and I'm going to close it. Next, I want to create another page. So again, Add, New Item, Content Page. It creates a SAML file, and this one is going to be called Map Page. And I'm going to click on Add. And again, right now I'm going to change what is being displayed in here so I can identify the map page, and I'm going to write Welcome to the Map Page. Save the changes, close, and finally I want to create a third page, which is going to be the profile page. I'm going to click on Add, and I'm going to change Welcome to Xamarin Forms to be Welcome to the Profile page. Save the changes and close this. So now we have all of the pages that are going to be displayed on the tabbed page. Back on the home page, this is the one that we have to change to be a tabbed page instead of a content page. And it's just going to be as easy as changing the definition from content page to tabbed page. Make sure that the opening tag and the closing tag are both tabbed page. And now the home page is a tabbed page instead of a content page. Because this is now a tabbed page, we need to change what is inside of it to actually display the pages that we want. And to be able to do that, we're going to have to write the name of the pages that we have just created. The history page, the map page, and the profile page. But the pages are not like the label or the entry or the button. If we want to define, for example, a history page, we do not see it listed. That is because right now, tab page doesn't know about either history page or map page or profile page. So what we need to do to be able to access those elements right from XAML is to add a new XML namespace. Adding an XML namespace is going to be very easy. In fact, we already have a couple of namespaces inside of the tab page. These namespaces are set by writing XML and S. And then, for example, this second one has a name assigned to the namespace. So this namespace is going to be accessed as X. And we can define our own by writing XML and S, colon, and we can set a name, for example, local. In this case, we're going to be using the travel record app as the namespace. And notice that all I had to do was start typing travel, and in the auto completion tool from Visual Studio, I was able to just type enter. And so now, inside of the tab page definition, we can now access these pages. But we're going to have to access them through the local namespace. So we can write local, and notice that as I write local, the pages are already listed. For example, the history page, which is the one that we want right now. All we have to do is type enter and we can close the definition. Notice that the entire definition starts with a local namespace, then a colon, and then the name of the page. Now that we have the history page, right below we want to define the map page. So again, we can start typing local, search for the map page and type enter, and close the definition. And finally, right below the main page, we want to define the profile page. So we write local, we find the profile page, and so we have the 3 elements inside of the tabbed page, each of which is going to define a tab inside of the tabbed page. Before testing this application, there is something else that we need to change. Right now, the only part of the application where we have changed the definition of the home page is on the homepage.saml. But if you go to your Solution Explorer and expand the home page and open the homepage.saml.cs, notice that currently homepage is still of type content page. So we have to change it in here as well. So instead of content page, let's write tabbed page, and you should now be able to test the application. For example, we can test it on the Xamarin Forms previewer. Now, because we have added new pages, it is a good idea to go to the Solution Explorer, right-click the solution, and select Rebuild the solution. This will allow the entire application to be aware of the new classes of the new pages that we have just created. Once we have done that, we can go to View, other windows, and select the Xamarin Forms previewer. Now, as far as the Xamarin Forms previewer goes, all it does is display the first page that is being defined inside of the tab page. Before testing this on our simulator, let's add something else to the definition. And that is that inside of each and every one of these pages, we can set a title. For example, for the history page, we can set the title to be history. For the map page, we can set the title to be map. And for the profile page, we can set the title to be profile. And with this, let's go ahead and test on our simulator to take a look at what is actually going on, and that we are not able to take a look at the Xamarin Forms previewer yet. So here's the application up and running. I am going to write something on the email and the password entries. Click on login, and notice that I am navigated now to the tabbed page, the home page, that starts with a history, also has a map and a profile tabs. And also notice that we are navigating to each of the tabs correctly, because when I click on the profile, I see the welcome to profile page label. On the map, I see the welcome to map page, and on the history, I see the welcome to history page label. So this is how you create a tab page on Xamarin Forms. And this will of course look native on both Android and on iOS. In the case of iOS, for example, we will have the tab page at the bottom of the screen, just like you would expect. In the next lecture, we're going to learn how to add an add button in the title bar so we can navigate to a new page where the user will be able to add new elements to its travel history.